Good morning. This is Margo. This is Saturday morning, February 15th, 2020, and I haven't done a blog talk show in a while, but I was guided to come on today and talk about the end times and some of my thoughts and visions that I've been having recently, and how it connects with the coronavirus. And I know that this has been in the news a lot. I don't know how many people have really been following it, and I've been following it very closely. It's close in my mind and in my heart and in my spirit, and I am having visions of things going on, and I want people to know that if you're connected with God and Jesus, if you're saved, then it doesn't matter what happens to you physically, because your soul will be saved and you'll go on and be in heaven. And this is not our world anyway. Those of us who are believers in Jesus Christ and believe that He came and the Son of God and died for us, died for our sins, and He came to guide us and to be our brother and our teacher and our protector and in all times. And I want to, before I get started, I want to share Matthew chapter 24. A lot of people are referring to this specific chapter in the Bible, and in case people are not aware of it, I want to go ahead and share this with everyone, and then I'm going to talk about some visions I've had, and then if we have any callers call in, I would like to hear from any of the callers, and then I've got some favorite Psalms that I'd like to share with people. So Matthew chapter 24, and I'm reading from ebible.org, and this is the King James Version. I'm going to read the whole chapter. And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to shew him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences, and earthquakes in divers places. All these things are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you. And ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in winter, neither on the Sabbath day. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Then if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall shew great signs and wonders, insomuch that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For whosoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from the heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender, and he putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came, and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken, and the other left. Two women shall be grinding at the mill, the one shall be taken, and the other left. Watch therefore, For ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched, and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not the Son of Man cometh. Who then is faithful and wise servant, a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord hath made ruler over his household, to give them meat in due season? Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. Verily I say unto you, that he shall make him ruler over all his goods. But, and if that evil servant shall say in his heart, My Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to smite his fellow servants, and to eat and drink with the drunken, the Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of, and shall cut him asunder, and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And that was the complete Matthew 24 chapter. So what we're seeing is a lot of these signs going on, and the pestilences and the earthquakes in diverse places. And I think this message is for our time, because how would you know if there were earthquakes in diverse places without being able to see around the world with the internet? And I do a lot of climate change reporting and earthquakes and greenhouse gases and things like that. And it was not until our generation that we're able to see all of these things. And I believe that Jesus is specifically talking to our generation. And so this has been prophesied. And so we shouldn't be afraid. We should repent, and we should ask for Jesus to come into our heart and save us from all of our sins, and to lift us up and to hold us close in these end days. And without us being under his wing, without that, people will be subject to things from Satan. And I'm not saying that we're not going to suffer. We are going to suffer. But if we endure it until the end, we will be saved. And we will have eternal life in God's kingdom. For this is not our world. This is the fallen world, and this is where Satan is ruling. And we can see that day by day. And now I've had some visions recently that I haven't shared. One vision was, about a week and a half ago. I was in deep prayer about the coronavirus, and I'm so saddened by what's happening and by the people who are suffering, and the fact also that this is starting in China, and most of the people there are atheists or Buddhists, and, they won't be saved. They don't know Jesus, and I'm so saddened by this. But I was in deep prayer, and then my inner vision opened, and I was in a factory with these Chinese women, these young Chinese women, and they were wearing masks, and they were working, and I wasn't sure if I was supposed to be seeing that, so I unfocused and let that go, and then I'm still praying, and then another vision came, and it was a different factory, and it was the Chinese women, different Chinese women with the mask, and they were young, and they seemed healthy. But I knew they were going to be dying soon, and it made me so sad that they were there working, and, they didn't know Jesus. And then I had another vision recently. I was praying, and I was looking, it's above the world, and I saw Jesus above the world, and he just had his arms outstretched, and he was smiling and having his arms open, and welcoming people to come home. And this is part of the end, and people have to ask for him, and if they don't, they won't go. But it showed me that he's there, and he's there for us, and all we have to do is to ask. And then I had another vision recently. It was just a couple of nights ago when I was saying my prayers, and I saw a woman, and she had a mask on, and she was like in a telephone booth or something, and she just fell down unconscious and had died. And so those are my recent visions, but my thoughts are that this is a forerunner, and this may not be the one to really kill everybody, but this is a beta test and a forerunner, and so we really need to get right with God and Jesus. I'm wanting to focus more on the spiritual aspects of getting ready to leave the planet, because we're going to be done very soon, and if this doesn't kill us all, then the abrupt rise in the temperature is going to happen very soon as the industries shut down around the world when people get sick and the airplanes stop going and things like that. And because of the aerosol masking effect will stop or be so much less that the sulfates will be falling out of the air, and so because we won't have as much pollution, it's called the it's the Guy McPherson paradox. If people are not aware of it, but people who have been following my work will know exactly what I'm talking about. And once that happens, and we have the 1 degree C temperature rise, and that could happen in a matter of weeks or even days, then we could see drastic releases of methane, and, then it's a whole thing. We could also see nuclear power plants melting down with the increased heat, and we could also see them blowing up, and because the people won't be there to take care of the plants. And these are all things that people aren't even talking about. And there's an uptick in earthquakes, and there's an uptick in there's going to be an uptick in volcanoes, and magma's rising, and the whole thing. So I follow all of that, and especially on my Subscribe Star channel. But anyway, now for the remainder of the show, I would like to just share some Psalms, and I recommend that if you have a Bible, go to the book of Psalms and just start reading it. There's plenty of them. Most of them are written by David. And I'm going to read Psalms chapter 1. It's nice concise and short. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. Psalms chapter 1. And this is one that most people know or are familiar with. This is Psalms chapter 23, a Psalm of David. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Psalm chapter 23. And the last one I'm going to read is Psalm chapter 91. This is one of my favorites. You get a sip of tea. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High thy habitation, there shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and adder, The young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under feet. Because he hath set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and shew him my salvation. Psalms 91. So my message today is we need to continue to love one another. We need to continue to stay vigilant. We need to have a sober mind. We need to be looking. We need to have our thoughts on heaven and our eyes on heaven and have Jesus abiding with us and in our hearts forever. And the end is coming for many in very short order. And for the ones who are not saved, Satan's going to have a field day. You know, this is exactly what Satan wants. He wants people to be caught off guard.
90 seconds.
He wants them to be angry. He wants people to curse God and to curse Jesus. But for those who are faithful, you know, they will be rewarded. If not here on earth, then in heaven. And no one's promised another day. No one's promised another hour or another minute. And we need to remember this. And, you know, every moment we have here is a gift. And so we need to be praying and asking God how He wants us to spend our last few days and weeks and minutes and last breaths, and how we can be of service to Him. And I hope that this message reaches some people and that they are blessed by it. And I'm planting a seed for them to remember as time goes on. Time is short. I love you very much, and I'm praying for everyone. My name is Margo. My website is margoshealingcorner.com. God bless you, and go in peace. And until next time, goodbye.